Ruben Amorim has Manchester United playing with a real confidence and belief at the moment. Beating Bournemouth by 4 goals to 1, I think it's clear that the players have adopted a stronger mindset. There's a great sense of camaraderie, with the players willing to do anything for each other on the pitch now. Let's take a look at what we learned after another impressive showing from Amorim's men. Okay, now before we begin, let's not get carried away. I'm certainly not going to get carried away. I know it was a good result, a good performance, a good showing by Manchester United. But let's be real, there's still more work to be done in terms of preparing for the upcoming season. And I'm sure that Amorim is echoing the same things to the boys after this match. But let's be real, this is the type of victory that we need to be celebrating. Because we haven't seen Manchester United play like this in such a long time. With such creativity, with such freedom, with such dominance, with such intensity. There were so many good things in this game. And while yes, there are still things that need to be worked on, I think Manchester United is proving and showing that this preseason is probably the most important that they've had in so long. And Amorim is doing the right things to take this club to the next level. Now, there's no way I could start this video without talking about the dominant Patrick Dorgu. I mean, he was absolutely class today. There was something different about his game that I noticed right away. It was literally from the first whistle where Manchester United were playing slick passes. You could tell that the intention was to take the game to Bournemouth, to not be slow, to play with high intensity and high tempo, and go at the defenders. Patrick Dorgu showed me around the 20th second mark that he was up for it, winning the ball, but it wanted to attack. They didn't want to sit back. They didn't want to wait and see what Bournemouth would do. They wanted to take the game to Bournemouth, and I think we were so successful. It honestly reminded me of the game in the Premier League last season, which we actually lost 3-0, but we were so much more on the front foot. We were aggressive. We were taking the game to Bournemouth. This time, we were the clinical ones, and Patrick Dorgu was just insane today. He was immense. He's shown so many qualities, physically, mentally, that have improved since he joined the team from Lecce in January. And I'm really enjoying his game. I'm loving the fact that he's our left wing back because he gives us something so dynamic on that side, especially today with Cunha not being in the side. Mason Mount was occupying the left hand. I thought Dorgu was fantastic getting up and down that left-hand side, showing us something different, and obviously causing a lot of trouble to the Bournemouth defense. Now, Patrick Dorgu got himself a goal and an assist today. So let's take a look at what he did to impose himself offensively in this match. Now, let's start with his assist for Rasmus Hojlund's goal. A goal which, by the way, Rasmus Hojlund seriously needed. And we'll talk about it a bit more in depth here. Not just Dorgu's impact on it offensively, but Hojlund's movement was key in him actually getting this goal. So as we progress this clip here, Mason Mount shows really good strength to fend off Zabarni, which is something that I feel like we've lacked. Just tremendously, the players did not look physically imposing last season. And this is something that I've noticed time and time again. This preseason, the players just look way more up for it. They look ready, they look sharp, they look physical, they look hungry. And Mason Mount shows right again. Zabarni is damn near twice his size. But Mason Mount shows good strength and composure to come away with the ball. And now we're in a situation where Patrick Dorgu is in space. If you guys watched my previous video, I talked about how Bournemouth in the first half against Everton, they really gave up a lot of space in behind. And it looked like in this game, it kind of followed suit. Patrick Dorgu was able to find himself in space here. And this is what I like about this system. With the left wing back and the 10, Mason Mount is actually able to make these overlapping runs, which takes out this defender. This is a 1v1 situation normally. But because Mason Mount is willing to run, is willing to put in the work to make that overlapping run, it completely takes Araujo out of the game. Now Dorgu, if this was a right-footed player, it would be way more of a dangerous situation because he has all the space and time to pick his corner. But because Dorgu is left-footed, it kind of made the situation a little bit less frantic, or so we thought. Because if you look at Rasmus Hojlund in this situation, for one, these two center backs are way too far apart. This is too big of a gap for your center back partnership to have when you're kind of in a dangerous situation like this. Bruno's on the edge of the box. Like I said, Mason Mount has taken this defender out of the game. So look at the gap in between Dorgu and Zabarni. And look at the gap in between Zabarni and Senesi. It's poor from Bournemouth. But look at the movement from Rasmus Hojlund. That right there, just to make that separation and find the space that Dorgu plays the ball into, and it's a goal. That right there is what Ruben Amorim, I'm sure, has been trying to implement in this team for a while. And something like that can work for Manchester United week in and week out. This is the identity and formula that Ruben Amorim wants to have. Overload the width. Make sure that players are taken out of the game and find and create your own space to score truly magnificent goals. And finally, Rasmus Hojlund gets himself on the score sheet. I want to go back a little bit just to once again showcase the movement, because it's not easy to make these types of moves in the game, especially when your defender is tight to you. But as soon as Dorgu cuts inside, Rasmus identifies the big gap in the middle. I mean, it's huge. There's really no reason why your center back partnerships should have a gap this big. And as soon as he does, boom, he darts into the space. Like I said in a lot of my previous videos, Amorim wants his players to be proactive. It's in situations like this where all you have to do is make one effort to beat your defender. And that's all it takes. That's all it takes. Make it seem like your defender has you on lock. Make it seem like your body language isn't telling the defender that you want to attack. Boom, spring into life. And you get a chance like this where you score a goal. So it's brilliant play by Manchester United all around. Moving on to Patrick Dorgu's goal. It's once again a situation where Mason Mount is showcasing really good strength. As I play the clip, he's showing really good strength. He wins the foul. Once again, like I said in the preview video, Bournemouth allowed a lot of space in behind against Everton in the first half. And again, they've done it here. Zabarny is too tight to Mason Mount. And as the ref tells Mason Mount to get on with the game, Dorgu's making that aggressive run in behind, which is what we want to see from a wingback, from a 10, from the 8. I think this is what we want Manchester United to be. A team that's willing to run in behind, create space, and be lethal. Now, as I continue to play this clip, Dorgu is just now in so much space that the Bournemouth defenders cannot contain. I mean, this is way too much space to be left open, especially for a player as physical and quick as Patrick Dorgu. It's great game sense by Mason Mount to, take a quick free kick, and because he noticed that Bournemouth's defense is not set at all. So it's great by Mason Mount, and Dorgu gets in, and here he's just stronger. He just shoves Araujo to the ground and gets into a position that says, you know what, I want this ball. I want it more than you. I'm going to show you I want it more than you. And as Dorgu goes clean through on goal, I kind of thought he messed up here because that touch kind of slowed him down a little bit. But the finish is really good for a left back, a left wing back, as you want to call him. I think this right here is super promising for Manchester United because last season we saw that a lot of the attacks for Manchester United were going down the wing backs. And Dorgu was proving to be the more proactive wing back, whether it was Dalot or Masraoui. So I think Dorgu was going to have an impressive and a seriously important role for Ruben Amorim's side this season. And if he can continue to have great performances like this, showcase great form like this, the sky is the limit for this kid, really. Today was also marked by some excellent work rate off the ball. I have not seen Manchester United play so well off the ball in a long time. They were winning all of their 50-50s. They were making sure that they were getting stuck in. Bournemouth were trying to physically unsettle United, and our players were just bouncing off them like they was nothing. Like the gym work that United have been posting on Instagram, the sessions they've been posting, clearly it's working. Our players look way stronger. They look like nothing can shake them, nothing can phase them. They look mentally locked in. And today was another day where Ruben Amorim had probably really gotten into the players' heads and say, hey, you guys are much better than this team. You guys need to show and go out there and show them why. Run harder than them. Work harder than them. And sometimes in football, this is a simple sport at the end of the day. Sometimes if you can just outwork your opponent, your technical ability and your talent will always shine. But that hard work, that running off the ball, that working and commitment for your teammates, that goes a long way. And I think today we just showed that we're not the same Manchester United that would have normally gotten rolled over, that the mentality would have dropped if something didn't go our way. Like this team wanted to score goals once again. They showed the impetus to go forward and be a dominant team. At one point in the first half, we had 70% possession. And it wasn't wasted possession because we had already scored 2 goals at this point. So it was just, I think today was just a great performance. Manchester United today just showed something different. And I'm excited. I'm happy and I'm glad that this is what Ruben Amorim is trying to build. The players also played with such a high tempo and honestly such a freedom and confidence when moving the ball around. I mean, there were some passages of play today that I was looking at the TV screen and I'm like, is this the same United that we've been watching for the past year? I mean, some of the pass and move was so slick. Bournemouth were just always late. They could never get to us in time. Even if the passes looked like they were short, United was there. They were quicker, they were stronger, they were faster. This is what we want to see from a Manchester United side that has quality all around the pitch. Mind you, this was basically the starting 11 that started in the Europa League final, barring Andre Onana. And I think it's really, really, really important, before I get into anything else to say, how important was Tom Heaton today? Just his saves alone, I think, gave the players a boost. but I'll talk a little bit more about him later. I think with the weather conditions as well, it played into our hands because United technically are a much better team than Bournemouth. I think the slick passing, the quick movement was just another product of what Amorim is doing on the training ground. And it looks really, really positive for Manchester United. I really loved also how they didn't abandon the press that they adopted against West Ham. It seemed even like Manchester United wanted to press more. There were moments in this game where I saw Casemiro marking way more aggressively than I thought he would. Normally, Casemiro would drop back and kind of invite the pressure onto himself. But in this game, he was going forward. He did not want to step back and drop back. He was man marking effectively. And I thought it was just great for Manchester United. I can really see what Ruben Amorim is trying to do. The players are buying into it clearly. There's no more discontent. There's no more confusion. There's no more, turmoil. There's no more clown jesters at the club to try and mess up the organization and the harmony that the players are building. And I'm really, really here for it. I'm loving it. Players today that normally a lot of fans would just write off actually proved something today. Mason Mount proved something today. He proved that he can be a valuable squad asset. Even Luke Shaw did something today that I wasn't really expecting, and that was his recovery defending. Luke Shaw has never been a slow player by any stretch of the imagination, but Bournemouth with Utara and Semenyo have some fast attackers that can break quickly. I thought today we were excellent in breaking up transitions. I think that was something that Ruben Amorim wanted to address after the West Ham game, especially for West Ham's goal. You could see that Manchester United were doing way better in the recovery of the ball in transition phases. So when Bournemouth was going on the attack, Manchester United was hounding them in numbers. You would see Bruno Fernandes at times tracking back, or you would see Mason Mount tracking back all the way from up the pitch to try and get numbers back on the ball. And it worked. It would slow down Bournemouth's momentum, or we'd get the ball back and start our own counter. Another thing I liked about United today was the composure on the ball. Usually when we win the ball back, we kind of just give it away. But today you could tell that Amorim had told the boys, keep retained possession of the ball, build up slowly, but then spring into life, which is what we've seen Manchester United do under Amorim time and time again, is just try and lull the opponent into a false sense of security, and then boom, spring into life. We have the players who are great in transition. We have someone like Bruno Fernandes who is excellent at finding those players in transition. But now we can see that there are other players who want to step up. This was the perfect opportunity for someone like Mason Mount because Mateus Cunha was injured to step up and prove to Amorim and say, hey, I can be your guy when Cunha is out. Or even if Cunha is in a bad run of form, I can be your guy for a good stretch of games. Great performance. I think this really shows that Manchester United is improving in ways that we probably didn't expect. You can tell that a lot of these guys are professional. They want to win. They want Manchester United to succeed. And Ruben Amorim, I think, is just the right guy to take us there. Like I said, I'm not trying to get overreacted, but I am making an honest claim and saying that this guy seems to be the real deal for Manchester United. Give him time, give him patience. If we can do this, I know it's preseason, but if we can play like this with the same team that we finished 15th last year, imagine when he actually gets the players that he wants in his system in the club. It's going to be great for Manchester United going forward. Defensively, I think we just look solid. We look good. There's still things that we need to work on, obviously, but our pressing actions are great. Our ball recovery is looking even better. Physically, we look imposing. We look a threat. This is a great time to just be analyzing this team and to learn about what Manchester United can actually do going into the Premier League season. Now, before I wrap up, I wanted to just touch base on something I briefly mentioned a few minutes ago, and that was the confidence. The players were playing with some real confidence. I'm going to put up a clip right now. There was a sequence where Manchester United were playing so dangerously, but they still managed to find their way through an intense press from Bournemouth. It was such slick interplay that I don't even think Bournemouth was expecting it, but United were just able to be confident and free and trust themselves to actually play their way out of danger. First time I've seen United play their way out of danger in so long. Before we would try and do it, and every single time we would get stuffed. I think it was because players weren't willing to actually put themselves in positions to pass and move. I think now the players are kind of understanding the formula, the system. They're getting into the right positions. They're making sure that they're making themselves available. And it's working like a charm. I mean, the sequence that I put up showed you how they were able to get out of danger so easily. Yes, the move eventually broke up, but it broke up higher up the pitch, damn near in Bournemouth's half, which is so much better than us losing the ball on the edge of our penalty box and we concede from a silly error and a silly mistake. Now, I wanted to get into just a couple of other standouts in this game for me. Like I said, I thought Mason Mount today showed something different. He actually imposed himself on the game. He was working hard. He was tracking back. He was also making sure he was involving his teammates. He was being a good team player. There's really not much more I could say about Mount today. And he's one of the players that I actually highlighted in one of my other videos. One of my players to watch for this preseason. I wanted to see what type of impact Mason Mount would have. I wanted to see if he would actually put himself in a position to challenge for that left 10 spot. And while this is still just one game, he is showing Ruben Amorim that he can be an option. And I think with the skill set that Mason Mount has, with the technical and mental ability that he has, he can definitely be an important player for us this season. And with fewer amount of games this season, I really think these players will be able to stay fit a lot more than if we were playing in Europe. Rasmus Hojlund today was pretty good. I don't think anybody can deny that he was causing a lot of trouble for Zabarny, a lot of trouble for Senesi. He was getting right on top of the defenders. He was making sure that they didn't have any time to breathe. Even when the ball was coming to his feet, he made sure to back into his defender and make it difficult for them to take it off of him. His layoffs and his passing was good. His first touch was good. He was reading and linking up play really nicely today. He got his goal, which I think he deserved because Hojlund does so much dirty work off the ball. But I think Hojlund, when he has confidence, when he's playing well with his team, when everything is going well, when they're playing slick football, Hojlund is one to watch. Now, I want to see him do this consistently. This is not just a one game and Hojlund's back. No, he didn't have a good end to the last season, so he needs to prove himself week in and week out. I know it's preseason. We always talk about how it's preseason. This is really a time to improve on performance, improve on your fitness. But if you can get a goal or two in preseason, that'll really set you up for the Premier League season. And I thought Hojlund was fantastic today. The last person I want to talk about is Tom Heaton. I said I'd mention him again in this video, and today he showed once again, age is just a number. But still, he actually makes saves. He doesn't try and do all these flashy saves. He doesn't try and do all these flashy moves. He's just a traditional goalkeeper who makes good saves, clean saves, and continues our play in quick fashion. He doesn't hold on to the ball too long. He likes to make sure that our tempo is quick. That's something that varies tremendously with Andre Onana. When Andre Onana starts, he likes to hold on to the ball. He's a little bit slow. He makes all of these comedic errors. Now, granted, he could be a completely different Andre Onana when he comes back into the starting 11. But I want to see him adopt these traits from Heaton. Just no nonsense. Just play the game. Do what you're supposed to. And that's it. Don't try and add all these extra elements and then that makes your overall game suffer. I just want to see Onana be a good shot stopper for us. Keep clean sheets. Help us be that last line of defense. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, today was a fantastic game. I'm going to go to sleep so happy knowing that Manchester United won a game, and not only won a game, but they won convincingly. Nobody can sit here and tell me that Bournemouth even had a chance, a simmer of hope. They didn't deserve to win this game. They didn't deserve to get anything from this game. And I think that we were the better team from the first minute until the last. Even when the second team came on, we still looked the better side. There were moments for Bournemouth in this game, of course, but we handled it well. We handled those moments very well. And we very much so imposed ourselves on this game. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. How did you enjoy the game? What are your thoughts on the game? Let me know if I missed anything. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one. It's been a pleasure talking to you as always. Have a good night, guys, and God bless.